Hey you, so on this video, sell your gold and silver, I'm just going to be giving a few pointers and suggestions that I've gained through experience, through actually doing that. It's along the lines of more of an exit plan, but more a couple of things, whether it be tips or suggestions that you could really gain from doing now and taking in consideration. I know a lot of people purchase and may say that they're in this for the long haul, so it's not something they're going to be doing anytime soon. But a lot of the things that I personally picked up and ended up selling as of recent with a lot of my videos that I've been displaying and showing, I had no intentions of selling, but the experience that I've learned through actually doing that, and it's literally invaluable. There's been dealers that I thought would take back that haven't. There's been dealers that would only take certain things. So it's definitely something I feel everybody stacking, especially if you intend to sell at a later date, should do. And just through some of these pointers that I'm going to be giving out, you may be able to do this without physically doing it, but it's definitely something everybody should consider doing, and you'll see why as I go through some of these. So breaking just straight into one of the main things that I feel why an individual should sell their gold and silver, it's going to be, and you hear this a lot from individuals that have actually physically done it, each individual is going to come away with either a good experience or a bad experience that's going to alter your stacking strategy straight off the bat. Now, a few things you may find an individual that may have got burnt through just stacking collector coins, and they may have needed to liquidate at some point, gone through the process, and it didn't quite work out for them, and they've came back and just said, I'm sticking just with weight now. And this is one experience. So you'll only find that out if you actually go ahead and go through the selling process now, then later. So another scenario could be where individuals in the past have mentioned or had that they've had all silver, and come time to sell, they've either found the experience very, very hard, or they didn't get nowhere or nothing what they thought they was going to get due to extra premiums paid on silver, and then found out that they've decided to go on and stack gold instead. So these are the kind of things you hear from individuals that have actually done it for whichever reasons, and then gone on to actually change their stacking strategy. So actually doing it, just like an exit plan, it's kind of different, because with an exit plan you just need to know what you're going to do when you exit. This is more like a fire drill when you're actually selling your gold and your silver. So from just doing that alone, you can go on to alter your stacking strategy totally different. I've altered mine slightly, but as I've mentioned and shown, I've actually gone on to sell pieces that I had no intentions of selling anytime soon. So you can definitely gain or lose from doing that a lot sooner than later. Now, the next point I wanted to mention would be doing a dry run. Now, with a dry run, I know a lot of individuals are going to say they've got their stack, they have no intentions of selling anytime soon. I've even heard and seen individuals that may purchase a collector coin from one of the mints and not even open the packaging. I personally find that insane, and this is things that they're going to be handing down to their kids and the likes of, but you never know what's inside that box. I mean, you can't sell anything to a dealer or an individual and them not check what you actually sold them. So for an individual to receive a product from the mint and just assume it's of fantastic condition is insanity to me. But there are individuals like that out there that will receive something from the mint and decide to just leave it fully wrapped as come. But those types of individuals can gain from doing a dry run also. With a dry run, you don't actually need to go door to door to your local LCS and the likes of. It's something you can do from your home. You're going to be sending out emails, rack up a list of dealers and giving some calls, and you may have some pieces that at one point was hot and it just may not be as hot now. With a dry run, once again, you don't need to actually physically list nothing on eBay. You're just getting quotes basically. So you're ringing up dealers and you're just getting quotes. It's fantastic because you may be of the mindset that certain things are doing better. You may have a dealer in question that you never knew when come time you was going to sell and it was going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3. You may have some bars, you may have some poured pieces, you may have some coins that you believe are okay. I was of that mindset also, and come time, I've had dealers tell me certain pieces I've tried to sell to them, and they've basically said, look, you shouldn't be stacking this coin because I wouldn't be selling that coin. Now, each dealer to dealer is going to differ, but it's good to get a rough idea of something that you do have and intend to sell at some point, what you can get now. Now, a massive thing to take into account here is the time and the climate at which you sell. If you're going to be doing a dry run, is it going to be on a low spot or a high spot? These things are going to play a massive factor, but either or, doing a dry run is something everybody can do. Individuals that are holding on for the long term, individuals that are flipping now or waiting for a high or a low spot. You may have some fractional pieces that you believe a dealer is going to take up in droves at a certain price. You don't know that until you actually physically know it. So doing a dry run is something definitely everybody and anybody can benefit from, whether it's a collector's piece, whether you're a weight stacker and you've got certain bars or anything of the likes of. So that's definitely something that an individual who's looking at or had no intentions of selling any gold and silver can benefit from. It may be a fantastic dream or it may be a nightmare. So another suggestion I'd mention is organize now. And when I say that, it's you want to know what portions of your stack are going to be going to a dealer and what portions of your stack are going to be sold on eBay. Now, I say that because you may have some pieces that right now are fantastic on eBay, but we all know things, take a nosedive, and it may be just fantastic food for the dealer, for the local coin store's bargain bin. So if you focus and work that out now, it can save you a lot of time and hassle come time to sell. When you do sell, if you're all weight, then you can be looking at something and know this is going to a dealer, so organization needed. But then it may be odd weights, it may be which dealer and the likes of. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration when you're selling. It's a lot, I'd say it is a lot more complex than buying. So if you organize now through a few of the other pointers I've just mentioned, finding out which dealer you can go through during dry runs, finding out the likes of, it gets your own little litmus test, because a lot of the things that I sold, I was of the impression they was just hot property and fantastic. Actually selling them really brought it home. So once again, if you organize your stack now, knowing there's pieces I have now that I literally have some pieces that no dealer wants, so they could only be sold onto another collector. Not saying that they can't be sold, but it is what it is. So another thing to take on board is that, and be aware of, is that a lot of dealers, and dealers have told me this themselves, whether we get a rocketing spot price or a nosedive spot price, a lot of dealers may log off, hang up the out for lunch sign when we're in a situation like that till things stabilize. And it's not something that I was aware of. So if you're looking to maybe time your purchase or your selling, knowing this could really help you, because dealers want obviously their businesses, so they want to also come out this on top. So if you've got prices that are literally nosediving and it can be going down a lot more, they may halt all business. Some dealers may slap a not taking online order sales. I don't know how that would work out with local coin stores. Maybe they may literally lock their doors if prices are diving down. Nobody wants to really, you have to remember, they purchased at a set spot price. So, being aware of this and understanding this can put you at an advantage, especially if they're rocketing up, or if they're diving down and you want to dump. You may want to get in a lot sooner than later, and knowing that dealers are going to halt trading altogether can put you at an advantage. And next, I would say, and just to wrap this up, would be my own personal experience. As I've mentioned, getting into this, a lot of the pieces I picked up, whether it's collector pieces and even some stacking pieces with the kilo coins and the likes of, my strategy's totally changed from selling. It's only when I've actually physically sold myself I've been able to change and tweak my entire stacking strategy. A lot of people had mentioned the kilos were hard to liquidate, and I would say no, the normal kilo coins wasn't hard at all. And I've sold kilo coins privately and to dealers. In fact, I personally found them a little easier when it was shipping them off. It was more of the smaller coins, even the ounce coins and the likes of when I've done a tube, for instance. That was more of a hassle when you're sending them out to loads of individuals, whereas getting it off to just one dealer was easier. So, you know, my experience was very interesting. You know, I've heard individuals mention that as long, when it comes to collector coins, as long as they like the piece, you know, when they come to sell it, they don't get what they want. They're lumbered with it. And I'd say if anybody that's in a situation where they're able to hold on to a piece that they need to sell, you're already on the up, because if you're in a comfortable enough position where you can hold on to a piece and you need the funds, then you have nothing to worry about. I like to think all individuals stacking precious metals won't be in that much of a situation, you know, unless you have, for instance, we're talking 50, 20, a whole load of ounces that you absolutely love that may not have been the best choice. Then you're in a bit of a situation. We're talking about the one collector coin and you don't get the price you want, you're going to hold on to it because it's a fantastic piece and you love it. Then you're in a great position. You're in a very strong position, because I've seen individuals have to sell everything, where every dollar/penny counts, so everything must go. Those are individuals that feel the pain. These are the individuals when I say you may want to stock something that the dealer's going to want to take off of you, because, you know, the last thing you want to have to do is let go of something that you absolutely love. And this is what a lot of people do a lot of the times, whether it's a car or an art or something of the likes of. These individuals love these things. They don't buy them because it's the best thing to buy. Purchasing metals is different. So attaching the, you know, as long as you love it, you're good to go. It's a little different when you're purchasing precious metals, but it's one of those situations where when we're really talking a coin, I think you can get away with it. Whether it's a gold coin, it's different, but if it's a silver coin, we're talking anything from, you know, $50 to $200. So that would be another thing. You're in a great position if you can do that. But other than that, I think it's definitely something that anybody and everybody can gain from, whether you're doing collector coins or you're stacking weight, doing a dry run, finding out who your dealers are going to be, doing it physically or just doing it in theory. You can definitely gain a lot of experience through selling your gold and silver sooner than later, and not just waiting for when the time comes. Or even if you're going to be handing it down to your kids, you may have the wrong collector piece. There may be a piece that you like, but, you know, the economy or just the whole collecting scenario doesn't. So you never know what nasty surprises or great surprises you can find out from this. But as I mentioned, another thing to take on board that can be good is doing this whole process in a low spot and in a high spot, because when you actually go to do it can play a big factor. So just take that into account and move from there. So it'd be fantastic if individuals or any thoughts could be left in the comments on this. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so. Hate or love it, let me know what you think. Don't forget to follow me on those other platforms, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.